Hi, you're listening to Childless and Moving Onward. This is the place where we talk about thriving in life when you're a woman who is childless, not by choice, regardless of the road that brought you to childlessness. Hi, and welcome back. If you've been here before, welcome if this is your first time to episode 45 of Childless and Moving Onward. Today, I'm going to unpack the universal language of pain in the childless journey. I'm Gail Miller, a doctor, life coach, speaker, and your guide through the wavy and sometimes choppy waters of involuntary childlessness. Today, we're tackling childless journey. Pain is the equalizer. This is going to be an honest exploration of the emotions, the challenging ones, the painful ones, surprising discoveries, and the different experiences that come with this unexpected path. Mixed in the conversation will sometimes be some chuckles, because I do think sometimes laughter is the best medicine, and heartfelt revelations that I hope will reshape how we understand and support each other. So let's dive in and let's discover the shared thread that binds us all in this unique journey, the pain. Pain is pain. Compound pain is where different types of hurt pile up, making you feel even worse. For people who can't have children but want them, this happens a lot. It's like having many sources of sadness all mixed together. And that makes the overall hurt feel that much stronger. The jumble of different pains can be really tough to deal with, especially when you're facing the challenges of being childless by circumstance, not by choice. And then when you're in this situation, you're childless, not by choice, pain can show up in a multitude of ways in layers. There's the primary loss, which is the pain of not having children, knowing that this is something you want so desperately and it's not going to happen. But it's rarely alone on its own. It doesn't just, that's not the only part of it. With it comes related secondary losses, and that includes the loss of a future you dreamed of, you've imagined in your mind, the milestones or the many things you had wanted to do, starting traditions with your kids. You've dreamed of that future and details, however detailed you dreamed it would be. There's the loss of the identity as a parent, loss of social connections with friends, colleagues, and sometimes with family members who have children, because you've gone your own way, each of you, for different reasons. Sometimes it's because you no longer have things in common. Sometimes because they've added to your hurt. Sometimes they just feel, I don't have anything in common with this person who doesn't have children. I don't want anything to do with them. Or they judge you and feel like you've done something wrong to be childless. I don't want anything to do with that person. I mean, there's so many layers of just this layer of the loss of social connections. There's loss of generational legacy, the loss of feeling like you're a part of things, of fitting in, because everything is about parenthood and children. And that's just the start. There are many, many losses that others wouldn't even typically even think of. And that alone is a loss. The loss of people supporting and understanding what you're going through. And each layer intensifies the overall grief, creating an even deeper and more complex pain. And it's pain that's not predictable. It's like riding a roller coaster, but one that's not fun, in assuming roller coasters are fun to you. It's the roller coaster that's the scariest, most mysterious ride, with unexpected loops, with sometimes manageable climbs up that are then interrupted by the sudden, steepest of plunges. So the pain will resurface over and over again when it's triggered by the unexpected twists and turns of painful comments people make, of the pregnancy announcements that slap you in the face, and all the milestones that come up that you don't get to experience. The cycle of grief can feel like the wound keeps reopening. And sometimes it just reopens, and sometimes it reopens and it goes even deeper. And that intensifies the emotional turmoil. It's emotionally exhausting. It's draining, not just from navigating the pain and grief, but from the constant navigation while also trying to feel normal, or at least look like life is normal and you're doing fine, because we all feel that need to put that fake smile on and, yeah, I'm doing fine. You know, that fake smile that you put on your face to pretend everything's fine and avoid all the complications that come from others when you let them know you're feeling the pain of being childless. Now, the complication I'm talking about are the hurtful comments from others, the pity. I hate that. The unwanted advice, the negative judgment. The phony smile is a way of avoiding all that. But it's also completely exhausting, leaving you feeling absolutely depleted. And shame and isolation generally come along with childlessness. Not that there is anything to be ashamed of, but it happens anyways. And then those feelings can be magnified by societal expectations and the stigma surrounding infertility, surrounding what actually, generally, there's a stigma surrounding whatever it is that led you to being childless. Another layer of pain is the strain on relationships that often comes along with being childless by circumstance. It's an unfortunate layer of emotional distress. Sometimes it's tension with partners. Your partner who's not on the same page regarding the childlessness, whether they also wanted kids, but seemed to move on without pain, or whether they didn't want kids, or they had kids from a previous relationship and didn't want any more with you. You can have tension with partners. It changes relationships with friends who have children, work relationships, and family situations. For many, the pain of childlessness goes well beyond personal loss to questions about your purpose. So that pain multiplies alongside the grief. And it can lead to feelings of hopelessness. Understanding that pain is pain can help validate the complex emotional experiences of those who are childless by circumstance, not by choice. No matter the path that brought you to being childless, your pain is valid. It's not less than, it's not more so than others. It's different for each individual, but equal. Now, this is key, so I'm going to repeat it. The pain of childlessness that's unwanted is profound and valid, regardless of the specific circumstances that led to it. So let's focus on this crucial aspect. The pain of childlessness is real. It's present fully and deeply, and it transcends the specific reason for not having children. Whether you are childless due to medical conditions, lack of a partner, financial reasons, infertility, or any of the other myriad of circumstances, the core emotional impact is a deep and profound pain. The circumstances differ. The pain is pain, though. No matter the cause, people who are childless not by choice often experience the layers of pain and loss that I mentioned earlier. Maybe some, maybe all, maybe more other types of losses. Grief over the loss of a hoped for future, feelings of isolation and being different from peers who have children, struggles with identity and self-worth in a society that equates adulthood with parenthood, that equates worthiness with parenthood, sadness during holidays and family-oriented events because family is traditionally defined as two parents and children. And then anxiety about aging without children. But sometimes people mistakenly assume that certain causes of being childless are easier to cope with than others. Sometimes we do it to ourselves. It can lead to invalidating someone's pain. And again, we often do it to ourselves. I've had clients who are childless, not because of infertility. They did not try to conceive. Their circumstances led to being childless, not because of infertility. These same women have not allowed themselves to grieve because they feel as if since they didn't do something, them not taking action makes their pain invalid. They see themselves as less deserving of understanding than women who are childless for other reasons, for childlessness after infertility or pregnancy loss. But unwanted childlessness can be equally devastating regardless of its origin. It's a unique but universal grief, and the underlying emotional challenges share common threads. The pain of a dream unfulfilled, the longing for a child to love, the sense of missing out on what many consider a fundamental human experience, experiencing parenthood. These are universal aspects of this pain. And we need to recognize that all forms of involuntary childlessness can result in significant emotional distress that deserves to be validated and given support. So let's talk about steps to validate your own pain when you're childless not by choice. First is to recognize that your pain is real and valid. Leave it there. Don't look at your reason for being childless to decide, oh, am I allowed to feel pain? Is it valid? Is it real? Yeah, it is. It all is. Pain is pain. You wanted to have children. You aren't for whatever reason. It's not what you want, and it's painful. Don't judge it. Recognize it for what it is, pain. Second is give yourself permission to experience all of your emotions and do that without judgment as well. Just notice and name your emotions, but don't look at them in terms of positive or negative, right? I'm angry today. Now, maybe it'll be different, later. I'm frustrated. I'm sad. I'm devastated. Sometimes that's interrupted with an emotion of happiness or, the positive emotions. That's all okay. It doesn't mean that your pain is not valid. The third is get support by connecting with others who are childless not by choice, from online or in-person support groups. Join my Circle of Support, free support group monthly. Join a Facebook group. Mine happens to be When Being Childless Isn't by Choice. There are many Facebook groups to join and get support from. Fourth is to practice self-compassion. Think about it this way. If your friend was going through this, what you are going through, you wouldn't question and judge her reason for being childless or for feeling pain. You'd support her. You'd offer understanding. Do the same thing for yourself. Fifth is to accept that your identity is more than just being a parent. And then redefine your identity. Look at it in a new way. Yes, I know it's not what you wanted it to be. This is your reality. Take your reality and work with that to redefine a new identity for yourself. Won't be the same. That does not mean you cannot redefine yourself and recognize that your worth is not determined by your ability to have children. Remember that working through this, all of it is a journey, and it's not a straight path. There's twists and turns. You go forward, backwards, forward again, backwards more sometimes, left and right. There's no right or wrong way to navigate this. One thing that doesn't change is the underlying pain. It's there no matter what your reason for being childless. You have every right to feel the pain, and the pain is valid. Take the time you need to work through this and to realize that your worth has nothing to do with whether or not you are a parent. And your pain has nothing to do with how you got to childlessness. That the validity of your pain doesn't have anything to do with your reason for being childless. So recognize that your pain is valid, not greater than, not less than anyone else's. Pain is pain. All right, that's all that I have for you today. I'll be back with you next week. I appreciate you listening. I hope this episode was helpful to you. If you liked what you heard, schedule a free discovery call with me to see how I can help you to feel worthy and live a fulfilling life. To schedule, click on the link in the episode notes, or you can find it on my website at pathonward.com. You can also see more from me on Instagram at childlesspathonward and Facebook and YouTube at Path Onward. Until next week, thanks again for listening.